Welcome to the Collector Cave. And today I'm starting up a new series, something a little different, not just a toy review, but something called a Character Spotlight. And this channel is dedicated not just to toy reviews, but also to the nostalgia behind them. Many of you watching this probably grew up playing with toys like I did in the 80s, and you have a lot of memories attached to those toys. Maybe you remember where you were when you got it, or playing with your friends. Maybe you remember setting up scenes, things like that. There's a lot of nostalgia behind this stuff for collectors today. And so this very first character spotlight I'm going to do is Doctor Doom. Since I'm fresh off of getting the Mezco Doctor Doom last week, I got my Castle Doom diorama up still. So I figured I would go through all the Doom figures and things I have through the years, and just kind of talk about it, and then get some feedback from you guys in the comments, about either this figure or other nostalgia you have. So Doctor Doom, starting off, my earliest memory of Doctor Doom is with this figure you see before here, which is a Secret Wars Doctor Doom figure. If you know about comics in the 80s, Secret Wars was a huge crossover that came into Marvel Comics, and one of the biggest things that came out of it was the black Spider-Man suit. But regardless, Mattel made a toy line called Secret Wars, and it loosely followed the comics. Of course, they kind of toyized, if that's even a word, some of this stuff with some extra stuff that you wouldn't see these characters having in the comics. But with that said, this is my earliest memory of Marvel toys. As a kid, I think this came out in '84. I was like 6 or 7, so I was little. I don't remember when I got this Doom figure, but I remember I had a lot of playtime with him. And I have some other sets I'll go through in a different video with Secret Wars stuff. But this Doom figure, like all Secret Wars figures, came with the shield. And we'll go into that shield in a minute. But these shields had these little cards you can put in that were lenticular things, and there's supposed to be secret messages sending between them. But anyway, they made Doom as like the leader of the bad guys. So I didn't know much about Doctor Doom. I didn't know his background as a kid. He comes with this laser pistol, which is connected to his side piece, which is all rubber, and then a laser rifle, which hooks into his back. If I can zoom in here a little bit, as you can tell, this Doom is a lot different than the Doom you see in comics. He does have his cloaked hood and his mask, but he has no cape. And mine's beat up through wear and tear and play, but this was all black paint. It was almost like some type of like chest armor he had. It was all detailed. And on the back here is like his rocket booster jets, which he does have in the comics. They're usually up higher. But as a kid, I didn't know any different. So I would use these laser rifles, these laser guns with him when I played. I think they took a lot from G.I. Joe. Because, in the comics, Doom does have a pistol, but it doesn't look like this. And then he has this laser rifle, which as a kid, I thought this was super cool. This huge rifle. And then if you look at this shield, each character came with multiple ones. So if I move this, you can see how it changes. And the bad guys came with these gray square shields, and the good guys came with round red shields. And I think each character had 4 or 5, maybe 6 of these. I've got another shield up here. This is the Tower of Doom, I believe it was called. I have that playset, and I'll show that in another video. But this shows Cap going in. They marketed Cap as leader of the good guys, and Doom as leader of the bad guys. So when I was real little, to me, Captain America was Dr. Doom's arch enemy. It's before I really got into Fantastic Four. It's how it was marketed to us by Mattel as kids. So if I put a couple more here, this shield just opens up like this, and then you just put the lenticular thing in there, close it up. Some of these don't work too well anymore. I don't know if they just never worked really good, period, or if it's just over time they've started to wear out. But I believe these figures were 4.5 inches, so they were a little taller than Star Wars figures, and a little shorter than today's modern, Marvel Legends. This one you can really tell it's a shark. Doom's getting bit by the shark, and then he punches the shark. So as a kid, as a 7-year-old, 6-year-old, playing with this stuff was awesome. I mean, you got a lot of play value. For me, growing up in the 80s, Star Wars was my number one thing. That's what I played with the most as a kid. And then number 2 was probably Transformers in a tie with like Marvel figures, Secret Wars figures, and Superpowers, which was DC. And anyway, getting back to this figure, you know, over time, a lot of this rubbery plastic tends to get really gummy and sticky. This guy, he's a little tacky. The rubber legs and arms are a little tacky. This is a harder plastic, which is held up besides the paint being gone, but the arms are a little rubbery, and they're a little tacky, but nothing that's like, I've had some Star Wars figures, vintage ones as a kid, that are really bad, gummy. And as gummy as this plastic is, you can see how much his legs bend. It's held up really good. And this rubber piece on the leg isn't tacky at all. It's a different type of plastic. I'm not sure what it is, but it's different. But anyway, man, I can't begin to tell you how much nostalgia I have for this figure. And really my introduction to Doctor Doom as a child. And now he's pretty much my favorite Marvel villain, I think, across the board. So a lot of memories playing with Secret Wars figures, and I'll have another video with all my Secret Wars stuff at another date. But this is the very earliest Doom figure I have. So let's move on to the next one. Okay, so we jumped quite a few years from 1984 to, I believe, January of 2020, when this Marvel Legends Doctor Doom came out. And you know, I didn't collect Marvel figures for years. I got back into collecting in the 90s when the new Star Wars figures came out, like in 95. But I didn't get into Marvel figures. So I know I missed some other Dooms that were released between 84 and 2020. But this was the next line I have chronologically of a Doom figure. And he came with two head sculpts. This one is more of like the Secret Wars look. If I compare the Secret Wars figure side by side, it's rather close. This is more of the classic Doom mask, but he also came with a more modern mask, which I don't have right now. It's packed away somewhere, but I prefer this look because, again, I grew up with Secret Wars. And that goblet didn't come with this Doom. It's a separate purchase I got on eBay. But he comes with his pistol, like a Luger, and he also comes with two fists, two interchangeable fists. And the cape does come off. Short story here, this Doom, Castle Doom dial that I made for this figure. I knew it was coming out, and I wanted to go all out. I did a lot of toy photography back during that time, and I wanted to have something cool to display with Doom. So unfortunately, with his cape being plastic, you know, he won't sit in that throne with the cape on, but the cape does come off. So he can sit in the throne pretty good. In fact, let me just give this a shot real quick. It's been a long time since I've put him. As you can see, the cape, there's a little peg there, and it pegs into the back. And this Doom has the little boosters for flying as well. If I pop his head back on, it's kind of hard on camera. And let's see if we can get this guy to sit down in this throne. I haven't articulated this guy in quite a while, and he's getting a little gummy on me. That's not a good sign. But see, with this belt, this gun's in the way. I don't know. I got this guy in the throne years ago, but you know, that's just kind of a quick doozy. The Mezco Doom fits a lot better on this throne, and he looks kind of goofy without his cape on. But he works. I made him look a lot better for my toy photography. But yeah, when this Doom came out, I was pretty excited. I can't remember. I think I pre-ordered it through Hasbro, through their website. And then I think I found another one in store, actually, at a Walmart by me, and picked up a second, which is still in box. But I went through quite a few in the store, because some of them had some issues with the mask having paint chipped, stuff like that, in box. So it took me a while, but I finally found a good one, pristine, that I haven't opened. Anyway, so this was my next Doom figure. Took a lot of pictures for this guy on Instagram. Okay, next up is something completely different, is a statue. And I don't typically collect statues. I'm more into the articulated figures, especially like Hot Toys and Mezco nowadays. But this came out, I know I got it early 2022. So it came out sometime around then. But this is Diamond Select Marvel Gallery PVC Doctor Doom statue. and it has more of a modern look on the mask. The mouth looks old school, but the rest of it, the shape looks more modern. But it's a cool look for Doom. He's got some fireball things going. There's this dinosaur display he's standing on, which I don't know what that's from. I'm thinking maybe Savage Lands, but I don't know if Doom was ever in Savage Lands. I can't remember. But it's a cool display. If I zoom in a little bit more, you can see the detail on these skulls of these dinosaurs. There's bones there. So if you know what this is, if it's from a comic run, let me know. I'd appreciate it. But the detail on this Doom is for a statue that cost maybe I think 40 bucks, 50 bucks, whatever it was. Pretty good detail. You can even see the tunic there has got some pattern in it. The paint apps around the medallions here on the green is a little shady. I'll usually use Photoshop to get that out for any pictures I post on Instagram. But it's a good look. Armor looks really good. It's got some good weight to it. There's the back of the cloak, the cape. So this thing has been in my office with my collection. Not in a Detolf yet. I'm probably going to put all my Doom stuff together in a Detolf, I think, in one Detolf area. I need to do a serious overhaul of my collection, my room. But yeah, it's a pretty cool look for Doom. Striking a pretty cool pose. So let's get to the next item. Okay, so in chronological order of what I've got, this is the next item. This came out last year. It's a third-party 1/6 scale figure from a company called S-Hero. And it was called Doom Monarch, which we know is, Dr. Doom. But because it's third party, they can't, they don't have the licensing to say Dr. Doom. But I reviewed this thing, and it's on my YouTube channel here, and I gave it really high marks. I've since watched other reviews where people had some serious problems. The pendants there, the gold chain, people open up the figure brand new and they're sitting out broken. The glue has come off. The fur has come off. One person, the armor down here, the knee, as you can tell, it comes way out, was broken in box. So I think I got a little fortunate that mine came in great, no problems. This mask, which is the classic Doom mask, I like it a lot, but it doesn't fit on very good. They're magnetic. The masks are magnetic, and behind the mask is the Victor Von Doom head portrait. But it's staying on. It hasn't fallen off, but it's kind of finicky. Whereas the classic mask, which I have kind of displayed down here, that one attaches a lot better. So that's kind of a minor issue. And he comes with his cool goblet. I've got him displayed with this goblet in my Detolf. It's got some like gems that are painted. Let me back out a little bit here. But yeah, it's a pretty cool goblet. He also comes with a book and electrical blast and a couple other items. So different ways you compose Doom. I got to work on the hood. This is not wired. And so with the fur on it, it doesn't sit the way I'd like it to. I need to work with it. The material of the hood and the cloak it feels like a Jedi robe. Like I said in my review, that if you have the Sideshow Mythos Obi-Wan Kenobi 6 scale figure, this material is very similar to the robe that he's wearing in that release. But as far as detail goes, I mean, for a third party, you see the scale mail there. It's actually fabric, but it looks good. And these armor pieces and the bicep, the forearm, and the wrist gauntlet all move. So you've got to really spend some time getting them set up the right way. You can see his blast there for his hands, like Iron Man. It's like a little green gem in there. Doesn't light up. The armor pauldrons are magnetic and can come off. So if you're pulling the arms out, they'll move, which is nice. He comes with a pistol, like a Luger, like he normally has. I won't take it out because this pouch is really difficult, and I'm afraid it's going to break if I mess with it too much. But that pistol is actually metal, die cast. And then looking down here at the leg armor, you see more inscription there. Looks really good. So for me, just displaying Doom like this in my Detolf, I am super happy. because no one's made a 1/6 scale Doom. Like Hot Toys, they're starting to do comic book stuff, but they always do licensed material, which kind of drives me nuts. As a guy who likes the comic book look the most, I would prefer to have more comic look stuff. So, a lot of people hated this release. I guess I was fortunate, and I like it a lot because I love Doom, and I think it turned out relatively well for a third party. There's another one coming out which I have on pre-order. What's it called? It's the what if Tony Stark became Iron Man or became Doctor Doom, and so it's got Robert Downey Jr. head sculpt, and he's got and it's red and yellow like an Iron Man suit, and he has the arc reactor in the chest. No, this is Doom Monarch. I forget what that one's called. Anyway, hopefully S Hero, they got a lot of complaints about this guy, and it sounds like not a lot of good customer service from them. So I'm hoping that release actually happens. I've paid for it, so I sure hope it happens, but we'll see. And I got one more Doom thing to look at after this. All right, and finally, my latest Doom figure was the Mezco 1/12 Collective Doctor Doom, which finally showed up in my house last week. I've got a video up for that. It's for the last video I just did, and I was blown away by this thing overall. I don't really have any complaints. Some minor stuff like the belt. There's two different belts. The belt can fall off real easy if you futz with it too much. But man, this and it's metal. This has got metal pieces. I weighed him. He weighs 7.7 ounces, which typical figures this size weigh about 3 or 4 ounces. So he's really hefty. And the metal is considerable. You can feel the cold die cast on the arms, the chest, the legs, everything. But this Doom looks really great. The cape is wired on the sides. It's wired around the cloak, the hood. These pauldrons are magnetic, and the cape comes off, and he's got a ton of accessories. Check out my video on it. There's a lot of accessories for this guy. I'm really impressed with this release. Let me get him in the chair real quick because he looks really cool in the chair. All right, so here's a Mezco Doom sitting in the throne, and he looks really awesome. He fits perfectly in this throne, and having the fabric cape, you can just fold that cape behind him, and he can, it can go underneath him. Unlike the Marvel Legends, that is a plastic cape where you have to, take it off for him to sit. But I think this looks really cool in this display. I'm really proud of this. Happy it turned out. I think it turned out good. Taking pictures on this thing is a joy. I've got a few pictures up on Instagram of this guy right now. Recent pictures I've taken. I got more coming. I just can't stop photographing this guy. So let's go ahead and put these up side by side for a final view. All right, so here's all my Doom stuff together in one. You can kind of see the size comparison here between the 4.5-inch Secret Wars figure and then the 6-inch Marvel Legends, and then the 7-inch Mezco figure, and then the Diamond Select statue in the back, and then the 1/6 scale S Hero Doom Monarch figure. So yeah, this has been fun. I have a lot of stuff like this where I've got figures from when I was a kid throughout the years. So I look forward to doing more of these character spotlights. Let me know what you guys think of this format if you like it. I'll do a lot more. I'm also going to be throwing in some old vintage videos or vintage toy videos of stuff like this Doctor Doom, Secret War stuff I grew up with, things like that. So we'll see you next time.